We're at Growing Greenfields, which is orchestrated by Diana Yates. It's a stunning garden with lots of pockets of spaces, some of them formal, some of them informal, woodland areas, encapsulating the idea about growing for the home, growing for the soul, but growing for wildlife as well. So we're going to take a little walk around with Diana herself, and she's going to talk to us about how she's developed this garden over the last 6 years. Thank you ever so much for allowing us into your garden on a beautiful day. I suppose the best place to start is for you to tell us when you came to the garden and how it's all came to be.
Oh, right. So we moved into this house about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And it sort of came out of nowhere, really. I didn't actually want to garden when I moved in. I was hoping someone else would take care of it, but we were out here one autumn day and we were clearing up like the first huge dump of leaves from the trees that sort of surround our home. And I just had such a feeling of calm and peace after sort of 8 hours slogging away. I was exhausted, but I just wanted more of that. So I started Googling and finding out about gardens in Scotland, what I could grow. And I decided to go down the route of veg first over sort of flowers, and sort of fell in love with it really, and it all spiraled from there. Spiraled from there, and I thought we'd start behind this beech hedge, which was here when we moved in. Such a great windbreak because we were actually in quite an exposed area. And I thought, if I'm absolutely rubbish at this, I can shut that gate and pretend it's not there.
It's not there. So was this entrance here all along?
Yeah,
or did you build this in? This
gate was here, and then we've just sort of paved. It was a blank slate in there. It was pretty much just soil. And we sort of paved and added beds.
I think there's nothing left to do but to go in and take a look.
Cool. So we've got sort of 4 by 6 beds, and then one, I think that's like 3 by 12, and then we added a trough later on. And then we have lots of stones that surround our property from like old dike walls. And my husband built just a
so reusing, recycling, and just using what's around you.
Yeah. We actually put landscape fabric down in here, and it's probably the only area that I would do that, but it just made sense to just try and get on top of what was going on in here. And then we put gravel and beds, and my neighbours had said, oh, you'll have difficulty growing there because like the previous owners had struggled. And I thought, oh, okay.
A bit of a dampener already.
Yeah, a little bit. So I thought, oh, do you know what? I might as well just try anyway. And it was that summer that we'd had the heat wave. It was just like a really long heat wave. And I put in 2 courgette plants and I got like around 70 courgettes.
No, I mean, it's absolutely stunning.
Which is insane. And I think this area, because it's quite protective, it feels warmer in here than anywhere else in the garden. There's definitely a temperature difference, right?
And it's lovely because you do feel enclosed, and it just feel, it's private, and with the space that you can kind of, you've got these pathways walking around, and you kind of just feel like you can pot about around the space and just really just enjoy what you're doing and just go from piece to piece. It's
a little sanctuary, really. So the first year it was courgettes, and then in the autumn, I think that year, I tried garlic for the first time. And I had potatoes in here as well, and I grew broccoli, and it was that perfect first gardening year. The weather was amazing. We had no pests because it's a new garden. You always seem to get that first season, don't you, where nothing seems to bother your crops. And it was wonderful. It was really, really wonderful. So I was just full bore then. Next year I doubled the beds. So we only started with 3 beds the first year. Yeah. And then as time went on.
So like a manageable amount.
Yeah, just to see what would happen. And this was actually a shed. I had a shed here.
It's had a facelift.
Yeah, it has had a facelift. But I thought to begin with, I would have a shed, and it had sort of long windows at the front, so that I could use it sort of greenhouse cum shed.
Oh, like a potting shed kind of.
Okay, because it's quite a distance to the house. And I thought I'd just keep some tools up here, and that's sort of perfect for starting off seeds. And then as time went on, I realised that I would benefit better from a greenhouse, and I thought this is going to be a long-term passion for me. So we switched. We had a greenhouse down where the shed is now, and my daughters and I, they helped me dismantle it along with my husband, and we carried it up here and put it back together. And it was so funny. when it was down there, the door wouldn't close properly, and we moved it up here, and it seems to fit better.
Yeah.
So,
That has complete utility for you, especially being in this part of the garden, the kitchen garden, and it keeps everything together as well, so that you can do all your harvesting, and you can do your drying out and watch your tomatoes grow. The vegetables can look so beautiful in the garden as well. And just taking a look here and just looking at the purple veins and just the colours, they're absolutely stunning.
And I love them with the calendula, which was all self-seeded around the garden. I just lifted them to make a row, and I just love the contrast of those two colours. I think it's so pretty.
Yeah, they're absolutely stunning.
And some years they don't look like that at all. Some years they don't even get to that size. So I'm just taking it as a win. And I'm going to try and find somewhere to just enter my prize cabbage and
and get that award. And just kind of just for the moments we've been talking, just being in this space, and the sounds, the soundscape, the landscape, everything here, and then this room. I know you spoke before about how you're creating rooms, and this one really feels like that, and embodies so many things that I think that a person can give their soul into their garden, and then it gives so much back, and it's kind of a duality, and it's I want to say an even process, but I think the garden just gives so much, and we're kind of there to kind of help it along.
It does. It's so rewarding, and this is really like a safe space, and it's all enclosed as well, so you feel kind of cocooned. But it is, I mean, you put your time and energy into nurturing these seeds, but every day you come out here and something has changed, and you get to harvest something, and I actually don't think there's anything more rewarding than stepping out the back door with a basket or a jam jar, you know, just something to collect sweet peas or pick a courgette. I've missed one here, big one there, or peas or strawberries, and half the time things don't make it to the kitchen. You're just kind of snacking as you go, and I don't think there's anything more rewarding, honestly.
Well, speaking of change, I know that there was a change. So after this was our first step within the garden, and going back through the gate, we have another development. So it'd be really nice to go through and have a little look at that.
Cool.